Shabbat Shalom. Sometimes miracles are not enough. The task is up to us. Our Parsha this Shabbat is out of order due to Passover. We are meant to delve once again into Parsha Beshalach, that moment at the parting of the Red Sea. We get to experience again what it was like and the Israelites' triumph over Pharaoh and getting across to safety while his chariots were consumed when the sea crashed down upon them. Yes, this is the stuff of great cinematic moments, but the lessons are real. Rabbi Bradley Shabbat Artson, who actually said, sometimes miracles aren't enough, the task is up to us, he comments on this. The transformation into a sacred people occurs not through miracles, but rather through steady education, discipline, and communal reinforcement. He goes on to paint a picture of how quickly we forgot. As soon as the miracles were done, so too are we. Whining, complaining constantly, never satisfied, filled with bouts of doubt and fear. He goes on to state, barely did they cross to freedom when the people complained to Moses and to God. They started complaining. They complained about a lack of water. Then they complained about the lack of food. And then they complained simply about no longer being surrounded by the familiar, if hostile, Egypt. The Midrash Shemot Rabbah cries out, have you forgotten all the miracles that God has performed for you? We can be a stiff-necked, difficult people, unwilling to bend and hard to please. Let us not forget that even Moses smashed the first set of tablets due to our inability to have faith in a better future and what lies ahead. Our slave mentality and our desire for safety clouding our vision and destroying our path forward. Rabbi Artson goes on to say, and I read this to my daughter and she was appalled. I said, these are not my words, and we both know this guy. The entire Bible can be read as a book about the consistent inability of God to teach the Jews to be grateful. First, God tries an idyllic garden. That doesn't work. Adam and Eve disobey anyway. Then God sends a flood. Well, that fails. Also, people continue to act violently. God then enslaves the Jews, sends a liberator, and redeems them from Egypt. After 10 miraculous plagues and a split sea, the Jews still act truculently. God gives a Torah of instructions, and the Jews ignore it. God sends prophets of insight, and the Jews rebel against them. The shift from biblical to rabbinic Judaism reflects the growing divine insight that the way to mold a sacred people lies not in external miracles, but rather inner transformation. That transformation is accomplished by gradually incorporating mitzvot, commandments, into our lives, by moving one step at a time toward making Shabbat, towards tzedakah, giving charity, social justice, prayer, and making study a regular part of our being. Then we can, with time, remake ourselves in the divine image. Such a transformation is much more difficult than merely splitting the sea. It involves a tenacity and an openness that must be cultivated continually. But the reward of such a transformation is precisely what God sought more than 3,000 years ago at the shores of the Red Sea. A Jewish community that puts God at the center through study, practice, community, and the development of sacred heritage. We are now coming to the end of Passover. We are amidst the counting of the Omer, day 7. 7, those of you know, being the number for goodness, creation, and renewal. This 49-day process of transformation is possible only if we are tenacious and open ourselves up continually, as Rabbi Artson said, to possibilities. Growth and change are a part of life. And the never-ending cycle of our soul's individual and collective evolution. We can whine. We can complain along the way, as the ancient Israelites did, or we can face our challenges head on and ask, what miracles does God have in store for us? What lies ahead that actually may be better than what's in the past? What are we willing to sacrifice in order to achieve God's plan for us and merit the promise that has been foretold? The counting that took place between Passover and Shavuot gave us the time to let go of our slave mentality. But guess what? We still have it. We were supposed to let go of the slave mentality to merit the commandments, the promise, and the path ahead. We couldn't achieve it. The generation that experienced slavery could not let go and move forward. It was the younger ones that did. They were open. They were tenacious. Today, in contemporary terms, we are meant to take this time between Passover and Shavuot to figure out what we want, who we are, how best we can grow, and what we need to do to keep walking in the ways of God and ever moving kadima, forward. We need to have courage. We need to have heart. We need to have faith, and we need to put our trust in God. Trust that God will show us the way. We are at a crossroads in our community and our temple life. We will have a meeting next Tuesday to discuss options moving forward. The Israelites went 400 years through bondage and then through wandering in the wilderness in their efforts toward possible redemption and promise. We've been on our journey of Emet for 15 years, looking ahead toward the promise. What will this mean for us? What lies ahead? How do we see ourselves? Where might we best grow or not? God gave us this miracle of Emet. Each and every single one of us is an integral part of its story. How grateful are we for the opportunity to pray together and play together? How best will Judaism and God be served by the choices we make at this important juncture in our journey? What is our kavanah? What is our intention? What do we want? That's what the New Year is all about. As we go through this Shabbat and the end of Pesach and the week ahead, let us think about the value we place on our collective purpose and our continued community. Let us think about what God might want for us and how best we can manifest destiny, the one that is divined for us. The Torah is a never-ending story. It goes on for generations and generations, and will hopefully continue long after all of us are gone. For this very brief period of time, we've made our mark. We did our part. What new chapters are ahead? And what is meant to unfold for us? Can we use this time between Passover and Shavuot to harness the incredible light that is possible for transformation and renewal? The choice is ours. Can we respect the miracle and be up to the task? Let us ask the hard questions and let us be open to new answers. As we go forward, may God watch over us and judge our intentions with compassion. Let us be tenacious, yet let us be thoughtful, and let us be generous of mind, heart, spirit, and faith. Let us be kind in our deliberations, and most importantly, grateful for that which has been given. Because make no mistake, we at Emet got to experience the miracle. May we be worthy as we go forward. May we merit the promise. Pen Yehi Ratzon, may it be God's will. Chag Sameach, Shabbat Shalom.